In the previous part, we attached the tire coordinate frame, defined the camber and side slip angles, and listed the 3 forces and 3 moments at the contact patch. Now we move to section 3.2, tire stiffness. We look at the force-deflection relation of the tire in 3 directions, at linearization about the operating point, and at the stiffness ordering, Kx greater than Kz and Kz greater than Ky. The force deflection characteristic of a tire is measured experimentally. The vertical force Fz is a function of the deflection delta z. About the operating point, we use a linear approximation. Stiffness is the slope of that characteristic at the origin, so Kz equals the tangent of the angle theta. Remember that a tire can only be compressed, so Fz is always positive, and that the strongest influence on vertical stiffness is inflation pressure. In the longitudinal and lateral directions, the force is limited by sliding, but the linear part is still usable. Fx equals Kx times delta x, and Fy equals Ky times delta y. A tire is normally stiffest longitudinally and softest laterally. That is, Kx is greater than Kz, and Kz is greater than Ky. Example 3.3 is advanced material, modeling the vertical force more accurately by including both the deflection delta z and the rate of deflection. The idea is to split Fz into 2 parts, a static part that is nonlinear in delta z, and a dynamic part proportional to the deflection rate, which represents the damping of the tire. The coefficients K1 and K2 come from the first and second order slopes of the characteristic, while K3 comes from the rate-dependent behavior. Reference values. K1 is about 200,000 newtons per meter for a passenger tire 20550 or 15, and about 1,200,000 newtons per meter for a truck tire. Note that this nonlinear model is used for vibration problems and simulation. In the linear analysis of this chapter, we still use Fz equals Kz times delta z. Example 3.4 explains the hysteresis of rubber. Rubber is a viscoelastic material, so the loading and unloading curves do not coincide. The area of the hysteresis loop is the energy dissipated as heat in each cycle of deformation and recovery. The consequence matters a great deal. The tire recovers slowly, so the trailing half of the patch presses on the road less hard than the leading half, and that pressure imbalance is what creates rolling resistance, which we meet again in section 3.5. In practice, racing tires use high hysteresis rubber for grip at the price of fast wear, while ordinary road tires use low hysteresis rubber for low rolling resistance and better fuel economy. That ends section 3.2. The formulas to remember are Fz equals Kz times delta z, and the stiffness ordering Kx greater than Kz greater than Ky. We now turn to section 3.3, the forces in the contact patch. We examine the distribution of the normal stress sigma z and the shear stresses tau x and tau y for a stationary tire. Write the equilibrium conditions and introduce the mathematical models that describe those distributions. The force per unit area of the contact patch consists of the contact pressure sigma z and the 2 shear stresses tau x and tau y. For a stationary tire under vertical load, the patch is symmetric, so the integral of sigma z over the patch equals the load Fz exactly, while the integral of the shear stress is 0. As for shape, the boundary of the patch is described by a superellipse of order 2n. Radial tires use n equal to 3, sometimes 2, and non-radial tires use n equal to 1. The larger n is, the closer the patch is to a rectangle and the flatter the top of the stress distribution. Example 3.5 is the first calculation of the chapter. A car weighs 800 kilograms, and each radial tire has a contact patch of 4 times a times b, with a equal to 5 centimeters and b equal to 12 centimeters. We are asked for the normal stress distribution under each tire using the model with n equal to 3. The solution: the load on one tire is 1/4 of 800 times 9.81, which is 1,962 newtons. Substitute the sigma z model with n equal to 3 into the equilibrium condition and integrate over the bounding rectangle 2a by 2b. The integration gives Fz equal to 1.7143 times 10 to the minus 2 times the peak stress. From that, the peak stress is 1.1445 times 10 to the 5th pascals. That is about 114.5 kilopascals. This problem is tabulated with live formulas in the exercise workbook as problem 1. Example 3.6 uses exactly the same data as the previous one, but computes with the model n equal to 2 so that we can compare. Replacing the 6th powers by 4th powers, the integration gives Fz equal to 1.44 times 10 to the minus 2 times the peak stress. Dividing 1962 by 0.0144 gives a peak stress of 1.3625 times 10 to the 5th pascals. Compared with the n equal to 3 result of 1.1445 times 10 to the 5th, this is about 19% higher. The reason is that the n equal to 2 model is sharper at the top, so the same load has to be carried by a higher peak stress. Now the shear stress for a stationary tire. Because of the geometric deformation of a round tire pressed on a flat surface, the contact patch carries shear stress even when the tire is completely at rest. In the x direction, tau x points inward, meaning the tire stretches the road surface along the x-axis. In the y direction, tau y points outward, meaning the tire compresses the road surface along the y-axis. The detailed distribution depends on tire construction, load, pressure, and environmental conditions. Nevertheless, the resultant tangential force is still 0 because the distribution is symmetric. That ends section 3.3. Two things to remember. The integral of sigma z over the patch equals Fz, and the superellipse model of order 2n, with n equal to 3 for radial tires. In the next part, we move to the effective rolling radius and rolling resistance.